Good.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Keep. Thank you for joining us today. Yay! New Year.
Welcome. 2 weeks.
Ooh, it's already off with a bang. So before I lose my mind any more than it already has been, let's jump into some announcements real quick and go from there. As y'all can see, Jonathan is not here just yet, but he will be coming in a little bit later. He'll join us as soon as he arrives. So yay, that'll be good. We are promoting Take This, which is an awesome organization working to remove the stigma of mental health in the gaming community and provide resources for that same community. And they do a lot of really awesome work. They have a lot of really cool initiatives, and they are just some really, really cool people. So you should definitely check them out. Do we have any other announcements?
Still hosting dinner and a game.
Yep.
And the craziness that is that.
Indeed.
I don't think so.
I don't think we have any other ones.
I just haven't posted on YouTube because I've had a lot of things going on.
That is exactly what I was going to say. Is Night Shift Night is still a thing. If you haven't checked out any of Garrett's videos, you definitely should. They are awesome. Lots of fun.
Great. Yay!
So we'll have the link for that in the doobly-doo. I think that's it. Guys, let's go ahead and jump into this.
Adventure!
Do it! Tally-ho! Just do it!
So, last we left our heroes, you guys had been in the Feywild. The 11th Hour had struck a deal with the Eventide Empress. You agreed to deal with Glory, an agent of one of the Empress's rivals that had been planted in her court. You were supplied with 2 weapons, a sword and a dagger, to plant on the scene and pin this dastardly deed on yet another rival. And you'd gotten a general idea of Glory's entourage. The Empress's steward had suggested using Glory's hunt, her upcoming hunt, as an opportunity to ambush her away from the prying eyes of the city. Halberd had spent some time investigating the kennels and finding Brutus, a massive blink dog that led the pack. On his way out of the kennels, he attempted to poison Brutus, which turned out, he thinks, to be successful. He also headed out early the next morning before the rest of the group to begin laying a trail to guide Glory to the desired location. He was joined by the rest of the group just in the nick of time as the hunt, led by hounds, but noticeably not including Brutus, approached. Combat ensued, with Val striking the first blow to gain Glory's attention, and she surprised everybody by shifting into a new form, with hulking shoulders, an extended muzzle, and prominent claws and fangs. Over the course of the battle, you struck Glory down, but her entourage took their revenge, killing Val in return. You eventually emerged victorious, finishing off Glory's entourage. Soliex revived Val, snatching him from the jaws of death, and your group rallied to begin heading back to the city. We're going to go ahead and pick up at that point immediately after the battle. Y'all are still in the woods, a short distance away from the city, and we're going to go ahead and start with Halberd and Val and Casator taking a moment in what would have expected to be quiet and hearing an ever so slight baying of hounds off in the distance.
Also, remember, don't use names.
Like it.
That's not okay.
Okay.
Do we have a general direction of where they're coming from?
Make a perception check.
I shall. With the nude. Ooh, that was a good one.
Look at me sideways.
25.
Yes. It's fairly easy to pinpoint. It is from a northern direction. Not directly back towards the city, but following a slight deviation of the trail that way.
Can we make out how far away they are?
More than 100 feet, less than a mile.
Okay.
Is it possible from just looking at directions, would it be possible for us to get back to the city without crossing them, or are they like in direct path?
They're not in the direct path.
Okay.
You could entirely avoid the and it's I will say it does sound like a small number. You're getting 3, maybe 4 hounds. That's it.
I think stealth would be best approach. Let's get the hell out of here.
This is just them boys. It's not all of the group. We're not all together. We go off.
Oh no, y'all are all together, but they're the only ones that hear this.
Yeah, you should
They're distant enough, and
Got it.
over the general ambience of the forest where the noise is starting to return, that they're the only ones that are picking up this particular noise.
Got you. Sounds like there are reinforcements coming up the way, hounds and whatnot. Doesn't sound like they're on the direct path back to the city, so my suggestion would be let's get out of here as quickly and quietly as possible.
Can Halberd cut through the woods and try to like lead the group off the path a little bit and
away from them
using his awesome woods thing?
Yes. Go ahead and have Halberd roll a survival check. Val, with your 25 perception, I will say it does not sound as though these hounds are getting closer.
Okay.
Does Halberd have advantage because woods?
I don't know if his favorite terrain actually works like that, but we'll say sure, why not? Go for it.
Neat.
I'm gonna ask Val to give me 3 strands of the hair just so we don't have to do an exchange later.
I thought we got those already, but maybe not.
Yeah, you have.
Well, just so
okay. Yeah. All right. I'll hand over the hair.
Okay, good deal.
I don't want it.
Survival check would be a 24.
Okay. So yeah, easily he can take you on a path through the woods, guiding you on a different way than y'all came in. Through this new terrain, he can guide you back to the city with very little issue.
Perfect.
Ho.
Yeah, let's tally the hoe out of here.
Okay. As y'all are heading out, I will go ahead and I will have Halberd make a nature check at disadvantage.
Nature at disadvantage?
Nature at disadvantage.
Well, balls. That's a 19 and an 8 for a 9. He's
9?
Not at nature.
Okay, thank you.
All right, we make our way back to the city.
You do. You make your way back to the city, emerging out of the forest about 45, 50 minutes later, walking through some of the farmland out on the outskirts of the forest to get to a road that leads you back to the city gates. You head back into the city. Are you heading back towards your inn or up towards the palace? What are you doing?
Well,
Probably heading back towards the inn if nobody else minds.
Yes,
Yeah, 'cause
back towards
we
the
need
end.
to get to the guy as quickly as we can, but we don't need to look like a mess.
Yeah, getting cleaned up would be fantastic.
Maybe not looking like we just, went
Committed
through everything.
I'm gonna divert slightly whenever we get around the shops, and all I want to see is if I can find like a little nice gift box. Nothing expensive, just a nice gift box.
Yeah, easily. Is there a particular material or wood or anything that you're pursuing? Something lighter in nature, darker in nature, specific color?
If I can find anything black, similar to the clothing I wore at the dance.
Okay. It takes you. You find the right shop very quickly. You kind of have a sense for how things go, and having walked through the city before, you've got a pretty good idea. There are so many options in this shop. It takes you 10 or 15 minutes of looking to find a perfectly like pitch black little carved wooden box There's a lid that is inset into it, and it costs about 2 silver. And as the craftswoman sees you eyeing it, she comes over and shows you how it's cleverly designed, how the top actually twists off and sets into it, and so it secures whatever you're wanting to place inside of it, and trying to sell it to you very quickly.
Lovely, quite lovely. She's trying to sell it to me quickly?
Mm-hmm. 2 silver, only 2 silver, such a valuable deal, an investment even.
Can I open the box?
Yeah, she's shown you how to open the lid and to take it off. You open it up. It doesn't look like there's anything inside it.
I'll take that one, and then if there's another one nearby that's a similar price, that is maybe like a nice deep sort of red.
The red one is actually only about 12 coppers. They're a similar size, similar shape, also very, very lovely workmanship.
Yeah, I'll take both of those. I'm a little suspicious about this black one now.
Very concerned.
Okay. And then I'll head back to the inn after I get those.
Okay. This is one of the things you do note. This is one of the only shops that starts the pricing with actual money that you're used to, and not something like dreams or memories or something more intangible. So you go ahead and you collect your purchases and head back to the inn?
Yes.
Okay. You head back to the inn. You meet the rest
We're
of the Flaming Sword.
It's the smile. That's what it is. She sits there with that shit-eating grin like, oh, I got him now!
Yeah.
So everybody reunites back at the Inn of the Flaming Sword.
Val's going to quietly walk up to his room and just start like stripping out of his armor, his clothes.
I'm gonna confiscate everybody's equipment that needs cleaning and rush job, get it cleaned.
Okay. So are y'all taking a short rest?
I was not intending on taking a short rest.
No, this will be a faster note. Now, we don't have to send everybody back in. I mean, we all did not go in before. I don't know if perhaps the wordsmith and the librarian just want to go in yourselves. Since you two seem to have a rapport with those inside, I would send the cleric, but he's a little shaken and indisposed at the moment. So if you two just want to go in, the rest of us will prepare to depart as soon as we return.
That suits me fine, darling.
Don't see a problem with that.
Let's do that.
Wordsmith, if you could take a look at this box, I think it's fine, but there was something that's concerned me.
Is it important that it be done immediately, or can I have
Yes.
10 minutes or so?
10 minutes should be fine. We just need to do it before we head over to back to the palace.
Okay. Then I will take 10 minutes and ritually cast Identify.
Okay. You cast Identify. Over the next 10 minutes, it's a box.
Okay.
Black wooden box. You do not detect anything in particular about it.
I was hoping that it
I'll
was
refrain from like gasping and dropping it.
Darling.
It's a box.
Thank you. I'm gonna go up to my room and use the monocle real quick to cast See Invisibility, just to see if there's anyone around or anything monitoring me.
Okay. You cast See Invisibility. You don't see anything in particular around you in the room, but make a perception check for me.
I don't
Like
like
any of this. It's not great.
You're very good at making us feel uneasy, Lauren. Good job.
13.
13. Yeah, nothing in particular catches your eye.
Cool.
Lauren's revenge for making her take 2 weeks off.
So I'm going to pull out 3 of my little chocolate liqueur bonbons, and I'm going to take a strand of hair and tie it around each one like a little bow, and nest them very nicely in the box and put on just my vest, not the overcoat I was wearing, just the vest, and head back downstairs.
Okay. Is this vest in the same color scheme as the overcoat, or is this the one that you... Okay.
It was bought with the overcoat, yeah.
Okay. But slightly less formal. Okay, good deal. So in the last 10, 15 minutes or so, while y'all have been playing with the box and preparing this for a presentation, Val, what have you been doing?
Val is essentially standing in his room in his equivalent of his boxer shorts,
Fantasy undies.
his fantasy undies, and just takes a moment and kind of looking at his hands and looking at the wounds, and he's going to grab. Is there a basin of water in the room?
Yeah.
So
medium sized, typically used for like refreshing your face in the morning and preparing for the day without having to go to a full restroom for it.
Yeah, he's going to just stand over that basin and very methodically and vigorously try to scrub all the blood off of him.
Okay. As you do, you're successful in getting most of the blood off. You're scrubbing under your nails and especially down that arm, and the wounds and scars on that arm where the knight had been attempting to take it as a trophy or some sort of recompense for killing his lady. They're very tender. Like it is very sore. As you're so you can get yourself clean. It'll take you a little bit, it'll take you the full 15 minutes just to get the working around the wounds to not open them back up, and get yourself mostly cleaned up.
Yeah, Val's just standing there, not even aware of the world around him, just trying to clean.
Okay. Doran, you said you were trying to get everybody's clothes taken care of, cleaned up best you can?
Yeah, all the armor, all the weapons in particular, because that's my speciality. I guess trying to clean the clothes if I can. And I probably would have told Val, yo, if you need something, I'm right here, bud. Come get me.
Yeah, and anybody who needs any healing, you can come find me. I have some lay on hands and whatnot that I can take care of. So if anyone's super low or anything, let me know and I can do what I can. So
Val's not saying anything, but you can look at him and see he's still pretty.
What are you at?
Yeah.
Doran.
Yes.
You can, in the 15 minutes, you can do a very, very quick wipe down of the weapons and armor, and there is a cleaning service offered by the inn where a cantrip level cleaning will remove most stains, odors, and substances from most clothes.
Is that offered in what we paid for?
No, it does cost a little bit extra.
As he mentions this, I'll take a flask out of my bag. If there's a wash bin in the room or something, just pour some water in and say, Doran, I have this magical cleaning water, and I'll pour it in there and say, just dunk the clothes in there and they'll clean themselves.
I'll go ahead and just do that for the clothes.
I'll cast Prestidigitation as he dunks them.
There you go. There you go. Whatever.
That's fantastic. I love it.
And the Prestidigitation will do the job and get everything scrubbed up quite nicely.
Lord,
Of course, they are now wet, but sure.
Lord, I will walk over to Val and reach out to him, and I will put 20 points away on him.
As you're walking into that, you kind of hit a wall. Val cast, hearing somebody in the room is casting anti-life shell.
Okay. Val?
Val's just sitting there, scrubbing WW.
Hey, bud. Doing okay?
I think that's a no.
He's just scrubbing.
Val. What you doing, man? It's a lot easier if you look at me. Kind of hard to talk to somebody when the back's to you.
Can I even hear sound?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, just make sure.
Hey, bud. What's going on?
It's not. There's still wounds.
No, they don't go away very well. Here, I can help with that if you would let me through.
I'll clean it. I'll get it.
We have people. Val, I need you to look at me. Curious question. Has this ever happened to you before?
That's what happened.
You getting hurt this much?
Oh, I mean, I've been hurt, and he kind of points to his back, which is all
I can see
still
that.
scarred up.
But you're curious. Have you ever died before, Val?
And you see Val just stop, and that was a first.
See here, I died first time going up against the vampire that killed your father. That wasn't fun. So I know it's not easy. But if you let me, I can perhaps help heal some of those wounds, and then I think Doran's doing some type of something with the clothing, helping clean them up. You have specialties, and I don't believe cleaning blood out of things is where you're proficient in.
No, I usually make things bloody. I make things die. I don't die. We can't die.
Yeah.
My people don't come back.
Funny thing, your dad thought that too, and he came back for a little bit, and then the traveler took him. He lasted a lot longer than he did, though, and I don't see Serenine walking up here to claim you, so this is a good sign.
Does she not? Did I do something wrong? Does she not want me? And he just starts scrubbing even harder.
I highly doubt you did something wrong. Personally, what I believe happened was your time is not done yet, and she needs you for other things. The dead can't help the gods as much as the living can.
That much is true.
So I think that she actually needs you alive. I need you alive because here's the deal. You're the second person I've ever brought back to life. I don't like doing it. It's your job, not mine. You say your job is to kill things and to introduce them to death, and not yourself. As somebody who has done that quite a bit, the inverse also happens. You deal damage, you take damage. That's what happens. So if you notice, I go down a lot, but I can also deal damage. If you don't want to go down, perhaps don't deal damage. Help your friends. You notice Casator hardly ever goes down. He doesn't deal a whole lot of damage, but he'll help out occasionally. Apparently he's a bard that can inspire people. Same can be said for Rai. She helps. She controls. Perhaps if you use your ability to control the field instead of inflicting damage on it, you might save yourself some pain. Can I come through this wall yet, or are we just going to keep at this nice little distance?
I mean, COVID rules.
I'm immune to disease.
That was good. I wasn't ready for that one.
Oh, we need Celiac real world.
Val dropped the anti-life shell.
Good. Now I'll walk over to you and put my hand on your shoulder and do 20 points of lay on hands. So, perhaps if you count on this team that's been assembled, that's been working together, we can help each other through this. We all have our specialties.
Unfortunately, my talents, the gifts I've been given, don't really lend themselves as well to fixing things as much as they do with breaking things.
I've recently changed my gifts. Have you ever thought about talking to Sadie and seeing what she could do to you?
We don't really talk much. When she does, her squirrels throw acorns at my head.
There's a difference between conversing and at least... It's a weird fact. I don't know how much you actually pray, but sort of speak to the wind and hope that your God can hear you. I found out that Muhammad actually listened to me, as I can now have different abilities than I had before.
I did notice you've gotten quite a bit faster.
Yes, I took a new oath as I am preparing to re-enter Dragonflight. Something a little more personal to me and less set up by the church itself. So
That's
perhaps
fair.
taking a moment. Here, give me your clothes. I'll take care of these.
I have no idea where my clothes are.
Cool. They're right here.
I'm literally in my undies.
I assume those we were washing.
I will take these. Why don't you sit here for a moment and meditate, pray, do whatever you need to do, and just think for a little bit. And then, when you're ready, we'll be downstairs. We're sending the wordsmith and the librarian to go conclude our business, and then they'll come back here. So, you have some time. Take your time that you need. And I will take those clothes, and we'll go downstairs, and sort of leave him in the room.
Okay. So you go ahead and grab his clothes. You take them, get them dunked in the magical cleaning water.
Yep. Yeah.
Good deal. So, Rai, Kazator, what are y'all doing at this point?
Unless you had something else you wanted to do, I was just going to head straight back to the gates.
Yeah, I had just given my clothes to Doran as well, and I put on given him my traveling clothes, put on my, more performance clothes, and I'm ready to go.
Okay. So back in your court garb, if slightly less formal.
Evidence.
You'll head back to the castle gates. You are ushered in fairly quickly this time. The guards recognize Miss Rai with a little bow. And you are guided by a servant down a side hallway and to a room you have not been in before. But Anna is there waiting for you, reclining on a couch. Her gown today is less the blue and more shades of purple edging to pink in a very subtle ombre effect. She looks up and smiles as you enter.
I will curtsy. Hello, Anna. In recognition of the taste of the Feywild in the Eventide Empress's court, I thought I would bring you a taste of the material plane, and I'll hold out the box and open it up so she can see the chocolates and the hair, and hand it to her.
She accepts it with a grin, says, "You are most gracious to myself and my family. Everything is complete, then?"
As far as we know, our tasks here are complete, so we do intend to head back shortly.
Wonderful. And I shall notify my mother, and within the hour you shall have your reward delivered.
You are most gracious, and your kingdom is quite beautiful.
You're being kind. I do sorrow to see you leave it, though.
Well, perhaps we shall venture to meet each other again. Should you ever find yourself in a material plane, it would be my pleasure to introduce you to some of the oddities that you may find compared to your own.
I hope one day that may come to pass. If you have a moment, there was an individual who did request an audience with, and she looks over at Kazator, some members of your group. Do you have a few moments to spare to greet her?
I'm gonna look over at King's-Tor.
Returning Raya's glance, I'll say, I believe we would have a bit of time to spare.
Are all the members she wished to speak of here, or are there others that need to be here?
I feel like I'm about to have whiplash.
She did not specify. Shall notify her that you are willing to grant her an audience. Are you aware of my mother's rules of hospitality?
It would not hurt to be reinformed.
Good boy.
Know then that while you are a guest within my mother's hall, no harm may come to you. This is a place for civilized negotiation. Likewise, you may bring no harm to another individual, or my mother's wrath shall fall upon you.
That's perfectly reasonable.
Very well. I shall let her know, and I'm sure she will be here momentarily. She seemed quite eager. So, Anna stands from the couch where she'd been reclining and heads to a door at the back of the room and steps through it. You hear a low murmur of voices, and then she turns back to you, says, would you want an audience? Would you feel more comfortable if I remained, or would you prefer privacy in this matter?
Don't know what the matter is.
I suppose if the lady requesting the audience would have wanted more here, then she would have requested that, so we will honor her intent.
Very well. I take my leave. And she turns and heads back out the door. And less than a minute later, through that same door that she came in, strides the woman you had seen gowned in scarlet. Pale skin, tall, elegant, still clothed in this same crimson color, a different dress today. She has had time to refresh herself. Her makeup is pristine. She walks in. She gives a very brief curtsy to the both of you, and then just stands there, looking.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. I have absolutely no idea who this woman is.
Not a clue.
Okay, cool.
I mean, to be fair, none of us do.
But we've got theories!
Not with certainty, at least. But
I super don't.
Yeah, you super don't. And I have...
Yeah.
I'm glad it's not the hag.
Hey, seeing this little bit of a pause and giving Jordan a second to think, I'll curtsy to her and say, is there a way we should refer to you?
Within these halls, I am known as Cece. Yourselves?
I would be the librarian, and this is the wordsmith.
Madam Librarian. And she turns and she looks at Kaisator, and her voice just gets very chill and cold.
Ironic.
Sir Wordsmith.
Cece.
I am mildly disappointed the rest of your group is not here. You shall have to do, though.
I'm afraid you lack specificity in who it is you wished to speak with.
I wish to speak with my niece's killers. I wish to judge what type of individual you are.
That was a good time.
And how would you propose to judge?
Moral unity.
Conversation, of course. Within the halls of the Eventide Empress, there is no other recourse. So, 2, Please be seated. And she comes and she sits herself on the same couch where Anna had previously sat, not reclining, but sitting very primly and properly, and staring at both of you.
Almost like a dragon, you would say, perhaps, maybe?
There's a certain almost serpentine intensity in her gaze.
This is fun. Yeah, guys.
I'm a bad
Real quick. It's fine.
It's about to ask for a tongue flick, but it's dragon. I don't do that tongue thing.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
I guess we'll be seated again.
Sure, we'll be right back. It's fine.
It works.
So, what kind of men are you then, wordsmith?
You're gonna make us all look bad, aren't you?
I am
Teasing.
a man on a mission.
Oh,
The mission can vary, but the intent is the same in all. To make this place we live safer. To seek the prosperity of the peoples that populate the worlds we visit. What kind of woman are you?
I'm a woman with a mission. I protect my family, to the best of my ability, of course. Oh, interesting to me. I detect no lie, but you use the truth as a curtain to shield what you do from the eyes of those who would watch.
And who is it that would care to watch such an unacclaimed individual?
Unacclaimed indeed. To bait a dragon in her nest takes some not small measure of bravery or stupidity. I haven't quite decided which yet. My sister is most wroth with you.
Would that be your sister EE?
I have but the one.
And then am I to assume your other siblings are brothers?
You may so assume if you wish.
Very well.
That's what it was for too. There it is.
Gotta go get my other notebook.
All the notes, all the lore.
I do not confess to have any knowledge of your niece, but I'm sure that no well-intending person would seek to intentionally harm a child.
You see her rear back a little bit, just stiffen in her back and her shoulders. Your scent was quite clear in the room where she lay dead, among others. So then, do you claim good intent? Unwillingness to harm children? An inherent goodness and kindness? Is that what you claim for yourself?
I claim as you to be one who protects my family, those by blood or those chosen.
Very well. I believe I have your measure. I thank you for your time. And she sort of looks over at Rye. I hope you now have his measure too. Guard yourself. If you are not one he claims to call family. And she rises from her seat. And she turns. And she leaves the room. What are y'all doing?
I'm not cleaning the mess out of our pants at the moment.
Wanting to ask questions, but not knowing what to ask. I'll just, I suppose, wait till she leaves the room and turn to Miss Rye and say, I do believe that Miss Cece and her family have they are responsible in part for our sanctum, and it would seem that we as fairly young adventurers are no longer going unnoticed. It would be important for the others to learn of this conversation quickly.
How did you know her niece was a child?
A child of sorts. A child that tried to kill us. A child that was acting in self-defense and was not our intent to harm. And I will lower my voice and say a child who was a dragon and possibly a biological experiment. We have more notes and things that we can share with you that are with the group.
She stares at you for a very long minute and then just gets up and walks out.
I take a deep breath and follow at a small distance.
Okay. In the meantime, Val, make a wisdom saving throw.
24?
Okay. Your thoughts flash back to the sword, the brand that it left on Glory, the power you could feel within it. It felt good to use that sword. And then you flash back to but a few seconds later. The damage that was done to you. You feel that moment when the world starts to dim. And then you snap back to yourself. What are you doing?
That moment, how strong of a flashback is it, both of those moments?
Fairly mild. Not overwhelming. You stay solidly planted in reality. You know exactly where you are. You know, you don't lose any sense of time. It's just a sense memory.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to cast Sending real quick to Kesator. Kesator, if you're still in the palace, could you ask if we may be given the weapons after they are retrieved from the bodies.
Assuming that I am making my way out but have not left the castle yet, or even close proximity, I can go back. I will I guess respond. I will seek an audience and see what I can find out. And sensing that Rai wants to be alone, I will let her continue to walk. And I guess if there was a central place where we were asking a steward or someone for an audience, if I can speak with either the Eventide Empress or her daughter.
So we'll say you are just about to leave the you're out of the castle itself and about to walk through the gate. So you can grab one of the guards, one of the soldiers, or ask them to summon a servant to convey your request towards you or for you, or you could head back in towards the ball, which is where you had seen the steward and the Empress spending most of their time.
I'll walk back in and see if I can find the steward.
Okay.
As soon as I get the idea that he's not behind me, I'm gonna follow him. I'm not just leaving him alone, but...
Okay. So as y'all are fixing to head back in, Solyak, Doran, what do y'all do during this time?
I'm just kind of waiting. I mean,
All right, there's nothing y'all wanted to be doing?
I want to leave this
Yeah.
place bad. I don't want.
I imagine
I want to go home. I
I'm
want to go
probably
up north.
I'm probably downstairs with Halberd and just relaxing, but like looking to see if anybody's coming to kill us. Waiting for people to return so we can leave.
Okay.
There is no relaxing. I want to get home.
Exactly. Yeah.
I don't want to be here.
I want to go home.
100% just waiting for people to return so we can get out of here.
Okay. So as y'all keep your watch in the main floor of the inn below, Kazator and Rai, in Kazator, you do start heading back in, and Rai very quickly follows you. You're aware of this. So you head back in. You don't see the steward right away, but there are a number of servants that, unless y'all are heading in, are y'all heading, like, getting a servant to try and get the message for you, or are y'all heading into the ballroom?
If it seems permissible that we could enter the ballroom, then we'll just go in and I'll see if I can talk to the steward directly. I want to approach the Eventide Empress. If it seems like it's closed off or like we need to have permission to go back in, then I'll talk to one of the guards.
It's not closed off. Like, there are guards posted. There are multitudes of servants going in and out. You still see Fey folk of various races entering and leaving. Like, this is essentially an eternal party. So food is constantly being refreshed. Drinks are constantly being refreshed. As y'all head into this massive ballroom, go ahead and make a perception check for me, both of you.
23.
23. Right, are you also keeping an eye out for the steward?
Yeah, if I see him.
All right, go ahead and make a perception check also.
15.
15. Okay. Rai is does not see the steward. You do see Anna entering from a side door and starting to rejoin the dancing. Kazator, it takes you a minute of looking. The steward, despite his scarlet dress, seems to elude your gaze, but you catch him speaking with one of the servants towards the back of the room. You meet his gaze and sort of flag his attention, and he gestures for you with a shake of his head over towards the same hallway you had gone down previously.
Okay, I will make my way that direction.
Okay. About 10 minutes later, Rai, I assume you're following?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. About 10 minutes later, the steward does come into this same small room that you had been in before. He says, has there been some issue with the delivery?
Everything has gone according to plan. One of my companions had a request of the Empress, and we will take her response at face value and be on our way. He was wondering if once the investigation has concluded and the weapons have been found in the body and removed, if we might be able to keep those, or if the Empress had need of them.
After the evidence has been found upon the body, there is no need of them any further. That said, the Empress does not give gifts. What is he willing to give in exchange?
I feel like I should not speak on Val's behalf here.
I'll say his name.
As you hesitate.
No, I that's in my head.
That's in Kazator's head. I got it.
Yeah.
As you hesitate, and there's just this look of on your face. The steward's like, well then, what would you be willing to give on his behalf?
It's hard to say for me, not knowing the capabilities of the sword or of the weapons, and not knowing his attachment to them.
You saw them in use, did you not?
I did. They seemed powerful. I've seen other powerful weapons. I don't know how they compare or how specifically they suit his skill set. If it's a novelty item to him that he fancies, or if it is something that is intrinsically valuable to him. As you can understand, that would determine the amount that I was willing to offer. Gosh, what do I even have? Where's my inventory? Ooh, right here. I will... The Eventide Empress is not a woman in need of physical wealth. What are the kinds of things she is interested in?
She is a lady of discerning taste. What information or secrets can you share? What knowledge might she use?
What about the
for
true
her
identity?
reputation?
What about the true identity of the woman in your court known as Cece?
You speak of a true name.
I do. And knowing how valuable that is, I
Gonna get us all killed.
would be hesitant to give it for only a weapon. If your majesty is interested, if her majesty is interested in such information, I would want the weapon and be interested to know what she might be willing to trade in return for it.
I'm only capable of trading the weapon. That is what you are interested in at this point. You may, of course, speak to the Empress herself on other matters.
Y'all are dragging this out.
I will say, I find this to be an acceptable trade.
Dirty mouth.
The true name of this individual for the sword.
Nah, get the knife too. I
It
want
would be
both.
the pair of weapons. Yes.
Make a persuasion check.
On board.
I am good at these. 28.
Yes.
Dang, son.
Very well. For the pair.
That's a true name. Or at least it's a title.
Is this a deal?
Do you perhaps have any knowledge of Cece's reasonings for being here?
I have some knowledge of her research here, yes.
How much of it is common knowledge?
Little. Well,
Good. Yes. We're annoying.
As much as our cleric friend Turai, as much as our cleric friend would like these weapons, that information may be even more important.
That's your business, darling.
I haven't all day. Do we have a deal or not?
What do you say to 3 shillings and we forget the name?
That's the greatest pose you'll ever see, mate.
I guess, how much time do I have to make this arrangement if I were to come back?
We expect the body to be located within 2 cycles. Already there is some concern on her delayed return from a hunt. She is not known for her prey eluding her.
Gotta be here 2 days so you can get a sword. I want to go home.
If there is some information that may aid the location of her body, of course I'd be willing to expedite the process. Could probably get it within 6 candle marks.
I can give you information as to the location and be back before that time with my answer on your offer.
Very well. The information for the body, return in 6 candle marks. More decisive than you are now.
Certainly. And I will relay to him, as best I can, the location of the body.
All right. So you described the path that you took into the woods to get there. Make a nature check just to see how well you can communicate the route you took through the forest and the way you went to get there.
If I can assist, I'll anytime he's like this, I'll be like, no, darling, it was like this.
Okay. I'll allow that. So go ahead and make that at advantage.
I need it. Oh, good. 19.
19. So it takes 15 or 20 minutes to describe this to him so that he has a clear idea of the route that you took and the way that the clearing and how everything was set up. And you can sort of hear him muttering, okay, so if we direct the general search in this direction without giving too much information, we should be able to make it to expedite this process. And as he's gotten this written down, you finish up these discussions, and he's like, well, what are you waiting for? I've work to do.
He's so sneaky.
We will turn and leave.
All right, so you all head out. You head back to the inn, or is there anything else you'd like to do?
Just as we... I will just... I can understand the things that are going through your head right now, and they are probably all warranted. I would ask that you give me a chance to explain further before talking to the group and the dominant personalities take over. If you need some time before that discussion, then I understand that as well.
I will not prevent you from speaking, and I would hope through a bit of enlightenment some of the disappointment I feel might ease, but I'm worried it won't.
I doubt it will dim any more than it is in my own mind.
Okay.
And after we get out of the palace, and as we walk back, I'll just begin to explain a little bit. This Cece, as she's known, is one of 5 siblings that are the children of Tiamat, and the head of the Brotherhood that we have had a number of dealings with. Cece's sister, the Black Dragon, was responsible directly for the assault on our sanctum. And in an attempt to go there and free some individuals that were taken with a group from the sanctum, we ran across the offspring of this Black Dragon, and a lot of evidence, both physical and written in journals that I believe friend the cleric has, as to genetic mutation and experimentation that I believe bred this offspring. In an attempt to speak with it, it changed into its true form, a young Black Dragon, and attacked us. We fought back and ended up killing it. Our intent, at least mine, was to try and bring it back, as it was very young, and I understood that it was merely protecting itself, but the time and circumstances once its mother arrived did not permit that.
And there was never a thought to soothe the child, afraid.
It was attempted until it called its mother, and once it called its mother, I believe things became reactionary. And as I said, I hope that this explanation helps you understand our actions, but I would not think that it would soothe the conscience. As I have stated, it has not done mine.
I can say nothing for the mother. Adults are adults. They make their own decisions. I find it difficult that I would ever be able to understand choosing to kill a child, even in reaction.
It was, I think, reactionarily, if it was a child, we would not have, but in its dragon form, there was a disconnect. I suppose I am trying to explain here the difference between a reason and a justification, as we had the former, but possibly not the latter.
I have no words, but I am very angry.
Just walk in silence.
Okay. A short time later, you'll return to the inn. You're greeted downstairs with Halberd and Silix and Doran watchfully waiting in the main room. Val, are you still in your own room?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, good. You're all back.
I'm gonna walk straight past all of them to go upstairs and get changed.
Okay.
You're missing somebody.
Oh, that will be coming shortly. We all need to talk on a few matters immediately.
All right. I'll go get Val if you all go find a room. I'll meet you over there.
I will probably just find Doran in the room that he's in, or if he was out here, just grab him and we'll go to one of the rooms.
Okay, so y'all are walking mostly together because y'all have rooms in the same hallway. You see Rye a little ways ahead of you, close the door to her own room. So there's 2 empty rooms in the rooms that Val is in.
Y'all duck into one of the empty rooms. I'll grab Val real quick and we'll meet you over there.
We do that.
So I'll stick my head in. Gestor needs to speak with all of us. I'm not sure what's going on, but Rye doesn't seem happy. He seems sad, and they don't have the person that we need. Not sure, but here are your clothes. I think we need our cleric.
I will get dressed and full armor, everything, and then I'll walk into the room with them.
Okay. So y'all are all in one of the rooms.
Mm-hmm.
What are y'all doing?
Okay.
What has
There are a
happened?
few things to discuss. The body is currently being searched for glory. It was going to take 2 cycles in estimation to find it, so I have given the steward some information to expedite that process, hopefully within the next 6 candles.
2 days is what it would have taken anyway.
But why do we need to be concerned with the expedition's location of the bodies?
Probably because he'll die if we don't get him out of here.
Well,
not worried about him, but
that is one concern. The other is that our cleric friend requested the weapons that were used to dispose of the individual.
We're meant to leave those behind.
yeah, but
We left them behind. Once the body is found, they can be given to us, but the Empress does not give gifts, so it is a deal that she seeks. I have information that could satisfy the agreement of that deal, the requirements of that deal, which I will get to as I tie in this other piece, which is, as we finished up our council with the Empress's daughter, we were told that there was an individual that would like to speak with us. And not knowing who else she wished to speak with, or for certain who it was, Rye and I took the audience, and turns out she wished that all of you were there, but it was the woman clad in red, known as Cece on this plane, as I can assume you can guess the identity of. Very upset at the death of her niece, a fact that Miss Rye is also none too pleased with.
I suppose this niece, a young dragon that was killed in a tower?
Indeed, whose mother is exceedingly upset as well. It was also mentioned that this black dragon was the only sister, alluding, I think, to the other 3 being brothers. I don't think we're lucky enough that any of them were just dead. But the scenario we face now is twofold. One, getting the weapons. It was agreed that if I were to divulge the true identity of Miss CC, that the weapons would be given to us in return. I don't see a negative to this, as our enemy's true identity being known. Best case, she gets stuck here or dealt with. I don't think that the Eventide Empress probably has much care about the affairs of our world, so I don't expect any animosity to be there or any punishment.
Well,
but we need to determine if this is an amenable idea, and also find out what she has been working on while she's been here.
the thing of it is, though, I mean, we know certain names, but are those real names or are those titles used by these individual dragons?
We have names.
I have in the journals and in our notes. at least, as long as they don't have surnames, and I'm not entirely sure that whether or not that would be a thing, I do have the true names of each of the children.
I know the names of each of Tiamat's children.
If she is going by CC and not what that stands for, I would assume that she does not want them to know what it stands for.
Fair enough.
Or it could
But
just
you know,
be,
they are names here.
it could be as much of a clever use of names and initials, similar to our own way of keeping our true names a secret. Why she chose that, I think, is less relevant than your question, which is, do we surrender the information or not? Now, you mentioned
ally.
You mentioned the plans. What exactly did you mean?
The things that she's been working on?
Yes.
Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
She has been here researching, doing work as a guest in the Empress's court. And apparently only little is known publicly about these workings. The steward knows more details.
Well, given that the Empress was able to shift a entire city from one realm to another and claim it as her own, it wouldn't be too much of a leap of logic to guess that that might be part of what Cece is here to study.
Her pursuit is to transfer and find a way to move a large individual. Yes. Doran, you seem to be wanting to say something.
I mean, what if the two of them end up being allies and we're not really given information to an enemy of our enemy? I don't know.
Well, the Eventide, yeah, the Empress prides herself on her neutrality,
right?
Not so much having allies as not having enemies.
Well, to be perfectly honest, Jonathan's not here to be suspicious, and I'm suspicious of everything.
He did text me. He's on his way. But that being said, I think we're right to be suspicious. It's a matter of, I think that in giving the true name and knowing the plans, or at least details of what her goals are, can only help us.
So, here's a question though. If you can only turn in, we have one bit of information we can share, and that is a name. However, we desire two things. We desire a pair of weapons and knowledge of her activities. Unless we come up with a second thing to give, simple math says we only get one.
Val just reaches into his pack and pulls out the journals. I think we have more than a little information that we can give.
What's in the journals that can be of a danger to us?
At this particular moment,
everything. Really?
There's nothing in here that specifically relates to us.
Okay, what about this? What's in the journals that if given to the Evening-Tide Empress would be a danger to anybody?
Do we want to give, a powerful political figure detailed scientific notes on biological warfare?
I'm not saying that we have to give her the entire journal, just saying that it is full of information we could offer. For instance, we have the names not just of Cece, but of her siblings.
I'm not sure that the Empress will care, and also, I'm sure those weapons are great, but there are powerful weapons everywhere, and I do not believe that giving out the information of powerful beings or giving out knowledge of...
You remember back at the tomb, Zelisar's tomb? There was information about other tombs. We can go find other weapons. I can make weapons.
Val.
I'm not sure. I'm not no for the trading of a name for the knowledge of what she was doing here. We can use that strategically, tactically, in a possible fight that's to come. I'm not sure the trading of information for a set of powerful weapons will be worth it. We can find other weapons. We have found other weapons. I understand you.
Like insight check Val to see like how sweaty is he wanting these weapons?
Val,
Yes.
go ahead and make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh.
Is this like a my precious he wants it kind of thing, or like?
Yeah.
Not as
that
far
would
as we
be
know.
We don't have a local volcano.
Would be a what?
19.
19? Okay. They're talking about the weapons and how powerful they are, and you get that sense memory again of making that hit, of doing the damage, and the power that of that death magic sinking into your foe. And you have that victorious feeling again just flash through your mind as you're reminiscing over the powerful weapon as they're talking about it. And you're like, yeah, that's a powerful weapon.
Can I insight him? I want to see how sweaty he is. I want to see how horny he is for the sword. I want to see.
Doran wants to do a vibe check.
Yeah.
Okay. Doran.
Yes.
For a vibe check,
Yeah.
go ahead and roll me.
I'm gonna use.
Start with rolling me a perception check.
Yeah, that's garbage. That's the first clown shoes of the new year.
Okay.
It was 8 + 0.
Okay. So it's not necessarily that you're unable to pick up anything from the room. You're focused on the conversation and talking about these powerful weapons, and you're thinking back to the tomb and the locations that you were given of these other weapons. And you've seen the Dawn Blade that Zelisar gifted to Solix. You've seen what it can do, and you're like, but I mean, why do we have to make a deal for these? You've already made deals before, and you're still not sure you came out on the good side of this.
Right.
There's other things in your mind. You're not picking up on anything from Val in particular at this point.
I doth protest. We don't need this sword and this dagger.
That being said, though, I do have something other than information I can offer.
Which is?
I have and I believe I may have mentioned this. There's a being here on this plane who owes me a favor.
Right.
And
All right, your friend never showed up.
Yeah, I tried to call in that favor, and he did not show when I requested.
Okay.
Let me bad things happens to him now.
Well, at the worst case, he would owe me maybe a bit more of a favor, but I could offer to it's a quickling. They're often seen and well regarded in the Fey courts.
So let me see if I understand this though. This is a Fey creature, well known in Fey courts by powerful Fey entities.
Correct.
Something I would just thinking logically, would the Eventide Empress not already have a couple of these in her service?
Maybe, but she'd still have to come by them in the natural laws of the world. Whereas this one I could gift to. Here's a favor. You don't have to pay it what you normally pay it or whatever.
I don't know much about this place, but something tells me that won't work as well as you think it will. I don't think you can gift favor. It seems
there's a lot you
couldn't you say my favor, the favor that you request is to do what she says one time or something of that sort?
Exactly, that's what I'm thinking.
Or could you not just use the favor to retrieve the items themselves and
credit transfer fee?
I'm not entirely sure that we should resort to thievery at the moment rather than.
I'm not sure the items are worth it. To be perfectly honest, I really don't believe those items are.
Those items, and I only attuned to one, were incredibly powerful and suited to the divine nature of my goddess. Therefore, their power would suit me quite well. And while I agree that they're not worth any price, I think offering a name, especially if we could, is even a single name, and especially if there's some information that we might also offer to learn of her plans or her purpose for being here, would only work tactically in our favor on all fronts.
I believe the best bet would be to offer a name for information for being here. As for the weapons, though, I believe part of that will come down, Val, do you still want... You and I had a discussion about the taking and receiving of damage. The more damage you deal in a frontline aspect, the more you will take. You need to realize that that's something you're willing to do. And be it, if you don't desire to hold that position, if you wish to control more than deal, perhaps not having those would be a good thing for you.
That is a decision that still has to be made and a discussion that still has to be had. In the meantime, I don't want to leave any options off the table.
Fair enough.
Especially one that could help keep the rest of us alive. If my ability to take and deal damage is what keeps all of you alive, then that's what I will do. But leaving an option off the table for not giving a name or not giving a bit of information seems like foolishness.
What I would say is if you can trade in your favor for these items, then that seems well worth it. But I don't trust these people, and I don't trust giving them information outside of necessity.
Well,
the name of our enemy is fine enough, given if we can find out the things she's been doing here. But
the research in that book is we don't need to be giving that out. It's not good.
Again, we and that's once again, I was not thinking of giving the entire journal. There's a lot of information in here. However, giving, for instance, the information that the Evenwrath was doing experimentation on genetic abnormalities, or even the fact that, hey, Cece has a sister. Cece has, in matter of fact, Cece has 4 siblings. There's information that does not damage us in any way.
Something would tell me that I'm not sure Cece would be hidden of having siblings. Siblings aren't dangerous to anybody.
We don't know that. In this case, if information is all they're after, even if it's not damaging information, it's still information.
True, but I'm not sure, hey, Cece has siblings will be enough information to garnish it does not carry the same weight as a true name, and the deal was a true name for the weapons.
Well, I think it's all about the way that it's put. If we offer the fact that I can give you a name for one price, I can also give you information about the individual's family and intent. And if they say no, then they say no. At least it's something to offer. Right now we have 5 hours left, something like that.
Yeah, right about.
Got to prioritize.
Go ahead, Doran.
No,
got to prioritize. Yes, that's exactly. We have about 5 hours left if the steward's estimations were correct in how long it would take to find the body. If it's faster, we have less. If we can get up to the palace, mingle, and possibly find out something about CC's work, at least the public knowledge part, through conversation and carousal, then perhaps that can give us more insight of whether we kind of know what she's been doing and it may not be worth it, or if we need to have more information. And if we can find enough information.
I think at this point, it doesn't hurt anything for us to at least offer the minimal and see if they take it. And if they need more and we're not willing to give, then we don't give.
I would say the names of the 5 could be permissible. With the knowledge of what was being done in the tower, I'm not comfortable with sharing with anybody.
I agree with that.
Fine.
That's fine with me.
All right.
But
Where is Rye, by the way?
she seems to not be happy with us. We already, he mentioned, the story of the tower, which Garrett wasn't present for much of.
That
because I wasn't there for those sessions. I don't think
You missed one of
So
those at least.
I'm trying to remember what happened.
You missed the one where they killed the dragon child.
Yeah.
That's right. I missed the important part.
Hey, you were there to get the very next chamber was where they fought the Malefont, and they got you your headband of intellect.
That's true.
Because I was looking through my notes. I knew I had it written down that the dragon girl and the whole thing, but then oh god, if I'd have been there, Thorin would have been not wanting to take part in that.
It is about this time. There's a knock on the door. There's a servant at the door who says, "Excuse me."
Yes.
Excuse me. There's a delivery, a large crate downstairs for you.
Thank you. Quesator, I do believe your delivery has been arrived.
Do you want it up here, or you gonna come get it downstairs?
Quesator will go look at it and see where it will be best.
I go with Quesator, axe in hand.
I think this might also require some of my abilities.
While they all go there, I go to Rye's room.
Okay. We'll go ahead and we'll do that first, as they're preparing to go downstairs and receive the delivery. You head over and you knock on Rye's door.
Miss Rye, you in there?
Yes, darling. How can I help you?
Might have a conversation, not through a door.
Whether you decide to have it on that side of the door or this side of the door, you have to open it.
Oh, well, not mine to intrude. I will just open the door and peek in.
I'm sitting at a desk and I'm writing in my journal.
Right.
Is this, just so I know, is this just a normal journal, or is this a journal to you?
No, I am writing to Oust and I'm giving him a report of everything.
Okay.
Oh, good.
Please deliver this to the council for an update.
He already
Little sis is tattling on us.
Good to know. Okay, thank you.
Miss Rye.
Yes,
Right.
darling.
Hear that you have heard of encounters that went down in a tower. I'm sensing that you are not happy about these encounters.
One cannot be obtuse forever, darling.
Well, I had a key role to play in that, so I thought I should come and speak to you personally. I'm not sure what all Quesator has informed of you, but I don't understand much of the arcane and odd magics and shape-changing and things of that nature, and I'm not sure what you understand. Perhaps you can expand my knowledge. To my base of knowledge, if a creature who shape changes dies, they revert to their true form. Yes, that's what we saw with Glory. Is this true in all cases?
Lauren, would you have any knowledge about this?
Make an Arcana check.
That's really good. 28.
This is generally true. You do know that there are some cases, very powerful magics that a shape change can be rendered permanent depending on how it is done and the magics that take it. So while, yes, it is generally true that shape changers of the vast majority of beings, if they die, they do revert to their natural form, there may be some exceptions.
That is common knowledge. Less common knowledge is it may not always be true, and considering that this is a child of experimentation, I don't think you can make any assumptions at this point.
Well, I sure do wish that less common knowledge had been common at the time. Did you see
It
what
is
happened?
sad you need common knowledge to know that a young child, no matter what its form, does not deserve to die.
I don't disagree with you. What had happened was a small child transformed into a large dragon and then attacked. I'm not proud of what happened. I'm not happy about what happened. The only thing that I am okay with is the fact that we all walked out of that chamber alive. We all, meaning the group of us. Those who went in, those who are here now. Are you familiar with dragon acid and what it does?
I'm very familiar, darling.
I thought you might be. So I believe you might understand the danger and the scare that can come. For most of us, this is our first encounter with anything like that. And I believe for most of us, myself included, was quite scared. For all of my training and teachings and everything else, this is my first time encountering a true dragon or something of that size. And to be perfectly frank, I was scared and I wanted to live.
She's not Frank.
I don't know how else we could have come out of that situation. I don't know how we could have stopped her. What I do know is that when she died, she stayed a dragon. And that is what myself and many of us have told ourselves. But when she was not a dragon, she still had scales. She was not just a little girl. Half of her was still scaled and black with a green eye. It was a thing. And before we even got to her chamber, there were a dozen other mutations. Some looked succeeding, some looked frail. I know none of this is helpful to you. None of this will ease anything. I'm sure your wrath towards me and this little band of ours is only growing at this point, but I felt that I should come and speak to you, and at least you and I are not the closest of friends. I realize this, but I don't believe you consider me a friend at all, more of a nuisance. But I would like you to know that I'm not happy about what went down in there. My target is her mother. I would like to stop her mother, so no more mutations of that sort can happen.
Heaven forbid a child of experimentation should live.
I don't mind them living. That's not an issue.
Apparently you do, darling, because if they can turn into a dragon, they're not worth it.
No, that wasn't it. They can turn into a dragon that then starts attacking us. A young dragon is still a danger to people, and a danger to myself. In the same way she was reactionary and defensive, so was I, and so were we all. If she was just a child, or even transformed into a wormling, a baby dragon, we might have been able to subdue that. But a dragon of that size, we were all scared.
I do wonder how she must have felt.
Oh, I firmly believe she was terrified as well. We all were.
And this is where I have even greater confusion, because in front of a terrified child who is attacking you, as one would imagine a child would do whenever they are frightened of strangers, instead of trying to find a way to ease that terror, to continue to ease that terror, you just continue to attack. So yes, you may come in here, and I do not know the purpose of what you thought you were going to say to me, but I'm sorry, I cannot find any sort of justification or reason or right, even in your own fear as an adult, who is supposed to be the arbiter of Bahamut, to come to me and say, well, she turned into a dragon and I was scared, so I decided to go ahead and kill a child.
Well, I do wonder how you would react in a similar situation. But I just wished for you to know an additional viewpoint on it. And know that despite what you think of me, I may not be as heartless as you all believe. I do still feel bad about some of the things that I have done. Enjoy your writing.
You ask very little of the library, so let me clarify one thing for you. Everyone who has ever arrived at the library, including my mentor, who was a green dragon, arrived as a child. We are a sanctum of foundlings, so I know very well how I would have reacted to a child who was frightened and started attacking me. And I am glad that you feel regret. You should feel regret. And you have absolutely no idea what I think of you because you have never taken a moment to talk to me, nor have I taken a moment to talk to you. And at this point in time, based on the conversation, I don't know that it would be productive to continue.
I cannot disagree with this. I believe we have received our package based on us looking it over. We will let you know when it's time to leave.
Please do.
Enjoy your day. And I will leave.
Right. During this time, downstairs, the four of y'all, Val, Halberd, Kazator, and Silyax, did y'all all go downstairs?
Well, I went to Rye, so they all went downstairs.
Yeah, I went down.
Doran, sorry. Doran, not Silyax.
The other slow Yeah.
My bad. So did y'all all go downstairs?
I did.
With axe in hand.
Okay. So you go down, and there is a crew of 6 porters, essentially carrying this large box, wooden in construction, but fairly rough-hewn wood. It's
like
6 or 7 feet long. It's 3 or 4 feet wide, 3 or 4 feet tall. Just this long.
Does this straight up look like a coffin?
Somewhat. The comparison could be made.
Didn't you just like walk the guy to us? You had to mail him? Imagine the postage.
If he's still walking.
Oh God.
Make a perception check.
There's no need for that. I'm gonna crack the box open.
Okay.
Well, perception was 28.
So Kazator, you do notice as Doran is taking a crowbar and prying the lid up. The lid comes up very easily, by the way. Like, it was firmly set down, but not actually nailed down.
Albert will definitely offer Russell crowbar.
Yes. Yes.
I was just gonna use the axe, but sure, the legendary crowbar of all.
Okay. So you go ahead and so Kazator does see that there is a slight dark stain that is starting to spread at one end of this box. We will go ahead and we will pick up with what y'all see here in just a moment.
Okay.
All right. Be right back.
55.
Oh my gosh.
All right. So y'all are opening the box. The lid pops off with just a little bit of effort. You do see inside, laid out, unconscious, is the very familiar form of Reslin, Hari Reslin.
I mean, he's dressed and everything, you know, like
Dressed.
not been
Rough. I mean, in very similar condition to the last time you saw him. It looks as though he was taken and laid down, and pretty much as soon as he was released from his discipline, he went unconscious and was placed in a box.
I'll cast a healing word.
Okay.
Because I feel bad.
Like your wounds.
By the way, this is the smoke y'all keep seeing on my camera. Just to be clear. Just to be clear.
Just incense.
Burning that incense.
I'm sorry.
Only
I said
incense.
healing word. It's supposed to be cure wounds.
That's the big touch one.
Yeah. I was like, I'm sitting there going, yes, cure wounds. What did I? Yeah. No.
Val,
Sorry.
as you reach into the box,
Oh, man.
Oh God.
there is a circle of runes inscribed into the box that were not immediately visible. And you
Right.
feel an intense wave of sleepiness come over you. You sway a little bit on your feet. Do you continue to reach your hand further into the box, or do you retreat?
I catch him. So
if I see the runes, yes. If not, then no.
Yeah, your passive perception is high enough at this point that you can see them.
Oh, okay. Then I will pull my hand out, and that's annoying. I'll try a healing word.
Okay. You use the healing word. You feel the spell take effect. You see Reslin, or his eyes briefly flutter open. He looks up, sort of disoriented, sees you. There's a brief smile on his face, and then he just closes his eyes and essentially falls asleep.
That's actually probably for the best, if we're being perfectly honest at the moment. He also got 9 points of healing back, or I'm sorry, 8 points. God dang it, I don't have the 5 anymore. 8 points of healing back.
Good deal.
To be perfectly honest, I don't think there's any reason to wake him before we're ready to leave anyway. There are runes on the inside that are apparently keeping him asleep. We can dispel that without any problem.
Assembling the crate would probably do the trick as well. If we want him to stay asleep, should we simply move the crate into one of our quarters for the time being?
Oh, great. We're going to carry this big, heavy box. Rather than just get the man out of the box.
I say, look.
Then he'll wake up.
If he's so dog-tired, he'll still be sleeping.
My worry is that he wakes up, says something that gets himself in more trouble, and we have to do this all over again. I say we let him sleep until magically until we're ready to leave. Which
you get that, and I've got this one. Let's move the damn box.
I'm going to act like I'm going to reach down and then just turn and look at Solyax and point.
I'm not there. I'm with Rye right now.
Oh,
Halberd's there.
Halberd, and point to a corner. Because I think we have the same strength.
Because I have a negative strength.
Norton's like, fine then!
So you three get one end, I'll get the other.
Yeah, so Doran's got one end. We have the other.
All three of you are sharing the other.
And I'm going to bring up my...
I just cast Mage Hand and lighten it 10
Because I'm
pounds.
pretty sure our two strength scores combined equal Doran's.
Or less. So.
And then if you add mine, it takes it down a notch, so he's...
Because Doran just flopped on top of it.
I feel like that should work.
All right. I want strength throws or strength checks from everybody.
I really wanted a saving throw.
We'll call it athletic checks. Athletics.
I liked.
Oh, hey, that's not negative.
Oh, okay.
Athletics.
Lauren, I'm going to use the Christmas purple dice.
Yay.
That's fitting.
Oh, well, that's dookie, but it's less dookie. I rolled a 4 plus 9.
Okay. So that's a 13 from Doran. A 1 from Val. Kazator?
Total of 4, but I did cast Mage Hand, so it is 10 pounds lighter.
Okay.
17.
And
Curse
okay.
the purple dice.
So Halberd and Doran,
Uh-huh.
everybody's heaving with all their mights trying to lift this and get it moved in. Y'all can feel a very slight lift, and then it immediately goes off balance as Val and Kazator are unable to assist. You feel a little bit of resistance somewhere in the middle from where the Mage Hand takes effect. And then Val's foot slips and his leg gets caught under it and he falls where that corner comes down essentially on top of his lap where he's sitting on the ground. You are Doran at one end trying to lift this thing up and barely holding it up, and Halberd getting the other corner and having no support from Kazator and Val.
I walk down the stairs and go, what's going on, guys?
Oh yeah, no, Solyax, there's a loud thunk That goes through this as it happens. Val is hurting at this point.
Oi, come here, grab the other end.
Alright, let's go.
Please don't let me die by coughing.
Trying again. Doran, Solyex, whoever else is helping.
I'm gonna give it one more try, Lauren.
Go for it.
I got an 18! Just flipped it off my lap.
My last one.
Okay, so Val's managing to try and get his fingers under it and lifting to sort of get a corner up in the air. Solyex is at that same sort of end trying to get it off of him. What was that sort of Solyex?
I was a 12.
My own
I was a 12. Okay.
14.
11.
14 from Kazator, who's finally getting his feet under him and helping lift. And Doran at the front got
same thing. I got
13? Was that right?
Yeah.
Okay. So just barely enough. The DC for this collectively was a 12. So barely successfully, y'all do manage to get it up, balanced enough overall where you can get it and carry it into one of the rooms to sit.
I don't know why Rye doesn't trust our competence, as all 6 of us are attempting to carry this thing.
Right. Val, you notice, and Halbert, are you helping to carry that also?
Yeah.
Okay. Who else is in the main room? Val helped lift it off of him as y'all were carrying it away, so he takes a moment to get up to his feet. Who else is staying in that main room for just a moment?
I mean, I'm helping to carry the box up.
Yeah, I think
It's just me.
Alright, so Val, you're the only one who notices at this point, but there's an increase in noise outside. There are people you can see starting to fill the streets a little bit. You see a little bit more activity outside, and there's just a hubbub that is starting to arise.
I'll walk down and peek my head out and just see if I can see or hear whatever's going on.
Alright, make a perception check.
That is so much better. Where were you earlier? That would be a 24.
Okay, yeah, easily you overhear 2 older Fey ladies standing to the side, gossiping over, did you hear? Oh my goodness, it's so shocking. How could anything happen? Did you hear? But they caught him, right? Oh yes, absolutely. He'll be brought to justice, no problem. It should be within the matter of Candlemore, because the whole thing will be resolved. Oh my goodness, it's so shocking that such a thing would happen here. And over the course of the next couple of minutes, you gather enough rumor and gossip to surmise that 1, they know Glory's been killed. 2, they found her body. And 3, they found an individual out in the woods that they are accusing of her murder.
I want to go home so bad.
Did we leave an individual?
No, we heard dogs though.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody else was out there.
I don't know.
You sent your friend to go over there.
I want to
My
go
friend
home.
was supposed to meet us at inn.
We need to get out of here.
Forget everything. We got to get out of here.
We did a murder, and I want to go home.
Yeah, can we get out of here? Forget everything else. Forget information, weapons, whatever. Let's get out of here.
I'm going to, if Val has relayed this to us and we've got the body set down, I'm going to go mingle with people and just be like, oh my goodness, who did they find in the woods?
Yeah, I was
Val,
gonna...
do you relay this to them?
Yeah, and I'm actually going to go with Kazator because I'm curious as well.
Nope.
Okay.
Not even.
Well, they're going, and so, all right. Y'all go ahead and head out to collect rumors. Make an investigation check, each of you.
I'm dying.
Oh, man.
It's bad.
That's only a 19.
Where's investigation? 13.
13. Okay. So, Kazator, you're listening and you're getting a lot of the same sort of information. It seems like these gossiping ladies are just repeating the same thing over and over and over, and it's just traveling through the chain. Val, you managed to find a source a little closer to the city gates, trying to figure out, what information is available. And you actually hear a guardsman talking to one of the shopkeepers right at the gates, where it's like, oh yeah, no, they found this quickling. They haven't released much information yet, but he was close to the scene of the crime. Some of the hounds had treed him. He was unable to make his escape. Obviously, he is the one who killed her. Caught at the scene, red-handed, essentially.
Gotta go.
We're going. I at least am going back inside. I assume Val.
Yeah, I'll go with you.
And we're gonna go inside and say, it would seem that our frame job did not quite go according to plan. Glanced at Val. When they find out that they released our side of the bargain without their side of the bargain, although technically we did fulfill ours, but they may not be happy about it. It might be best for us to leave.
Let's
rather than try and make a deal.
Yeah, let's get out of here.
At this particular point, if it is who I think it is, he's not someone we can just leave to take the blame for us. You said you had a meeting with the steward, right?
Yes.
I say let's go to that, deal with what comes, and then immediately leave.
Nope, dealing with what comes does not let us immediately leave.
No, he's right. If he sent this individual in here, we can't let him take the fall.
Because that individual then tells that they were sent by us, or
no, it doesn't matter.
Regardless,
Isator,
bad things happen.
Yes.
at this point, you do know you're meeting between all of the conversations that y'all have been having and the time it took to gather the rumors and figure out what was going on. You've still got about 2 candle marks, 2 hours, give or take, before the meeting with the steward is scheduled.
Right.
And
Because
I
this was
will
supposed to
say,
take much longer to find.
right, Val, I will say, nothing that you have heard in the rumors contradicts the story that the Empress wants to tell. Like, there's nothing pinning this on y'all. There's nothing that suggests the Empress's hospitality has failed. If anything, there's an undercurrent of, this is so shocking. How could somebody outside of the courts do this? This is such a horrible.
Here's my
I
thought.
would find the weapons.
If your friend tells the Empress, no, I was sent out by these people, she's going to look at him and go, you are lying. Because the Empress won't want it back to us.
Except that they are known for not lying. They speak truth. They prefer truth. The assumption that he was speaking non-truth would not be forefront of their minds.
But the Empress can't acknowledge.
Did they hear what court the Quickling was from when they were going around listening in on stuff?
They did not. Is that something you'll want to start listening for and seeking out?
If we've got a couple hours, I'll say this. Excuse me. If we have a couple hours, I'd say let's make our way towards the gates and listen for rumors, gather information on our way there. And if we can't get the information, or if we see we need to leave, we can leave. But I do not want to leave this individual and take the risk of them pointing the blame back at us.
Even if there is no risk, I'm not going to let this individual that you sent out take the blame and be killed or sentenced to a similar fate as Reslin for a crime he didn't commit.
And I would appreciate that.
If I need to trade the information that we have, that we discussed, for his release in a quiet manner, unknown to the court at large, then so be it.
Yeah. I said let's make our way there, at least the 3 of us, and see what we can bargain for.
Whatever you do, let's do it quickly.
Yeah.
Okay, so who's doing what?
I'm gonna start heading towards the gate.
Okay.
Or towards the castle thingy.
Okay.
I'm assuming Rye was still in her room, so I'm just gonna go and relay all this to her.
I'm sorry. When I said I was relaying it to everybody, I literally meant everybody. So yeah, if Rye was still in her room, my apologies. If Rye was still in her room, we tell her too.
Okay.
Not leaving Rye out.
Do you have your equipment on you?
I'm running upstairs and grabbing all my gear.
Okay.
Okay, so Val's heading up to the city gates. What's everybody else doing? Or the castle gates?
I'm staying by the coffin in the room.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
Waiting to go home.
Dwarf, I reek of iron. They're not gonna like me.
Just waiting to go
I'm
home.
not playing that game.
All right, Kazator, Halberd, Rye?
With Val.
Okay.
I'm staying in my room finishing out the report.
Okay. It won't take too much longer, probably another 20, 30 minutes for you to convey everything.
Don't care.
Okay. Halberd?
Are we inside the court?
No, we're in the inn.
Right now you're at the inn.
Would I have to take my
Val and Kazator are heading up to the castle gates.
Nope. I'll let them do their continued reconnaissance, and I'm going to, if they're going into the courts, and I'll go for a stroll, listening to what I can.
Okay.
Try to get closer, maybe wander, back by the walls and the guards and all that.
Okay, so closer to the gate where he is likely to be coming in, where they're getting the most recent information from?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Go ahead and make an investigation check. Kazator and Val, as y'all are heading up towards the castle gates, make perception checks.
21.
That's a 27.
Okay. Both of y'all do see a servant catch your eye at one of the side gates, a little ways down from the main gate where you had entered. So they sort of wave you down, and there's a crowd forming along the streets, and especially closer to the castle, as they get the sense that and Halberd, you get, what's your investigation roll?
Natural 1.
Okay, so what's your total?
7.
7. Okay. So you do get a sense of rising excitement throughout the city. There's a sense of impending action, as it seems like something is going to be happening soon. Kazator and Val, as y'all are heading up to the gates, the servant waves you down, pulls you over. It says, "It appears things are happening quickly. The steward bid me watch for you. If you would prefer to wait the remainder of the time, there's a room set apart for you."
I don't
We
think
have, a
waiting.
couple hours?
Do you think waiting will actually garner us anything, or better to get this done quickly?
I believe the items you asked are en route and should be arriving within the next 2 hours. They should be ready for you at the agreed upon time, if that deal still wishes to be completed.
Very much so.
We'll speak to him when he
Sure.
arrives.
Shall we head in, Kazator?
Yes.
Wordsmith.
Sorry.
Dun dun dun.
The servant
Son of
just
a
nods and bows and gestures for you to head in.
He's counting that as not caught. As we walk in,
John Cena.
We need to leave.
we are.
Screwed.
We're gonna walk in, and I'm gonna look at Val, and say, number one, we can use these 2 hours to try to find out what Cece's been up to. Number two, by the time that 2 hours has elapsed and it is time to meet with the steward, I will be gone because I am not going to wait around to be beholden to some deal now that my name is known.
My apologies.
I will wait at the inn.
Actually, Lauren, on that note, real quick, pause. Would Val know if full names are necessary or just an actual name?
Fragments of names still give elements of power or elements of knowledge. Full names are required for the full effect. Or true names are required for the full effect.
After
I will quickly relay that information with my sincere apology.
After all the verbal slapdowns I've been giving people about names.
See, this is what happens when you don't come with us. You're not there to catch me.
No. This is player fuck up. This ain't character fuck up. Come on.
Okay. I would like to go in, make small conversation.
Don't introduce yourself.
And start to try to ask about work into it. Ask about the guests of the Empress and what are they doing here? See what I can find out about what Cece's been up to here, at least the public knowledge portion of it, while keeping a very keen eye out for any servant or the steward who seems to be approaching me. At which point I am going to quickly walk to a hallway or something, try to get out of sight. How far is it to the outer gate?
From where you're at?
Mm-hmm.
Gate of the castle, right? Or gate of the city?
It's the castle.
From where you're at in the small room, we're gonna say y'all are on the side of the castle closer to the gate entrance, so you could easily get there with the dimension door. Is
Okay.
that what you're thinking?
Yeah. Any alleyway that I've noticed walking in that I could at least not be right in the middle of the walkway, I am gonna walk to an area where I'm just less visible and just poof and head back to the end.
Okay. Yeah, that's easily doable. So make an investigation check, checking for rumors and trying to get some of this knowledge about the guests and Cece in particular.
1.
For
a total of 3, I think, for investigation. Yes.
Okay. You're in the ballroom mingling with the guests, and there's an individual that catches your attention fairly quickly. And it's not because she is doing anything overt. She's not trying to get your attention at all, but she seems so familiar. And you're looking at her and trying to keep an ear out for Cece and asking the right questions, but it's just, no, you've seen her before. You can't quite place this older woman, gray skin, this greenish white hair. Very, very aged, this older woman.
I hate
You're
so
pretty
much.
sure that she's familiar to you, you can't place it. And so as you're mingling, you keep coming back to her, and there's almost this magnetic draw that keeps turning your thoughts towards her. You're just unable to really get any of the information that you're seeking.
As this time elapsed, I get none of the information I'm seeking, but I focus on this woman. Can I make an intelligence check to see if I figure it out by the end of that time?
Yeah, sure, go for it.
This is where he rolls his natural 20.
Yeah, I wish. Just straight intelligence, that we said?
Mm-hmm.
11.
11. Are you proficient in history?
Mm-hmm.
Or Arcana?
Both.
Okay, awesome. Go ahead and add your proficiency bonus to that.
16.
16.
Nope, 15.
15. Okay.
I looked at initiative, sorry. No.
You're fine. Yeah, no, it takes you a while, and it's getting right at the end of this 2-hour period where you've been waiting and circulating and trying to find it. And you're like, wait, no, that's it. That's Granny Titchwillow. That's the old lady you met in the woods, but she was on a completely different world.
Nope.
I mean, that was way back with the wolves. I mean, wow.
No.
You remember, she was the one who gave you the crystal to...
POS. I knew I was thinking it.
She was the one who gave you the crystal to imbue the enchantment on your crossbow. And she is the one you traded your dying breath to get that crystal and your shield pendant. Your shield pendant was also part of that deal.
People saying true names start ringing bells.
It
Doran's
does.
gonna freaking punch Val. He's like, you idiot.
Can we go home?
I would love to go home.
Like somewhere in the distance, Doran is just like, he's got a twitch going. He's ready to go home.
He's got a Twitch Willow.
Doran's like, why do I feel this overwhelming urge to punch someone?
I'm gonna come through this camera. Murder some.
All right, moving on.
Okay, so Kazator is getting towards this 2-hour time limit where you know it's time to make a decision one way or the other if the deal's going to be struck. Val, what have you been doing?
I'm actually chilling in the corner, just trying not to draw attention, kind of mentally kicking myself but also still kind of thinking about the weapons and the deal and trying to figure out where, like, kind of have my hand in my pouch on the scientific journal, just thinking, okay, what can I offer? How do we get out of this and go home?
Okay. So did you stay in the room or did you go to the ballroom with Kazator?
No, I stayed in the room. Sorry.
Okay. So it's been very quiet. Time has passed kind of slowly in there. Make me with some saving throw.
Almost. Oh no. I don't have advantage on those anymore, and it really sucks. Oh god. Oh god. Okay, that's not as bad. That's a modified 20.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're thinking about those weapons. The thought crosses your mind about how powerful they are, and you're realizing those could be very useful. You're thinking of all of the combat capability. You're thinking of all of the utility that the strength that they could give you. You're thinking of that when you made that successful hit and the flow of vitality from your enemy into your own person. It's like that is a mighty weapon.
Vampire
and
sword.
You're not at the point where you're craving it yet, but you do want it. There's
Oh yeah, no, Val straight up wants this.
Yeah, it's a good weapon. It is solidly useful.
So 10 or 15 minutes. 10 or 15 minutes before I know the time is up, I'd like to make my way out into the hallway, somewhere that I'm not seen.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking I can't let Val do the bargaining, and I'm going to cast Disguise Self and make myself look like Rye.
Okay.
And I will go into the room with Val.
Okay. So Val, it's getting right close to the end of the time frame where you know that the deal is going to be struck soon, and Rye walks into the room.
And it straight up looks like Rye.
Straight up looks like Rye.
Oh, this is so good.
Darling.
This is gonna be fantastic. This is
I
the
thought it would be
chaos
lovely if I came and
for.
bargained at his place.
Is that what you're doing? Is you're walking and just practicing? Hello, darling.
Darling, because I thought it would be wonderful if I bargained for him at his place.
Smith, darling.
We're gonna do a deception in this place.
You seem in a much better mood.
That's because I'm not feeling myself. I'm feeling like Kazator.
Oh, so we are using names now after
I'm pretty sure that one you already covered for us.
Yeah, that was my bad. My bad. I get this. I kind of feel like Val's getting the feeling that he knows what's up.
Yeah, at this point, yeah.
Do you really think that opening these discussions with deception is the right way to go?
To be honest, I hadn't thought about it. I'm not as familiar with the Fey world as you, so if you tell me it would be better to leave this to you, I will do that, but that seemed a poor decision to me.
I never said leave it to me. I'm just worried that, and trust me, even those familiar with the Feywilds can screw it up every now and then.
Obviously.
Yes, case in point. So, I will say that my past experience is that deception does not work well, but if we lead off when the steward comes in with you are who you are, and it is only for your own protection that you have changed your appearance, then maybe it will be received better.
If you told my name to the servant, I imagine information is worth something here. He wants to move up. He doesn't want to be a servant. If he tells the steward my true name...
Well, once again, not your
win
true
something.
name, just a portion of your name, so...
Half of my true name. Would it be better if I were not here?
No. I think at this particular point, we've done all the damage that we can.
Yes,
I am going to be...
Yes, ma'am?
Sorry to interrupt, Val. One thing you do know, deception is exceptionally frowned upon when you're caught.
Okay.
I mean, we did a deception in the form of a murder.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's fair. So, if you think you can get away with this, then...
Oh, darling!
If we're caught, though... If we're caught, though, just know the consequences...
We're leaving immediately.
Yeah, the consequences will be dire.
I don't want to go home. Casey has our scroll.
Yeah, he does!
I'm getting out of here one way or another.
I'm trapped in a nightmare.
Yeah, me and you, man. Me and you are trapped in a half-dead body going. How did I get here? Casador, that's how.
I'm a black.
We're doing this.
Why am I here?
Casey, the big bear.
All right, we're doing it.
All right,
we're waiting for the steward.
All right. Within the next 5 or 10 minutes, shortly before the time expired, that 6-hour mark, he walks into the room. You can see he is holding the sword. The knife is in his belt. He greets you perfunctorily and says, "The Empress."
I curtsy.
Very nice. Very nice.
Very nice. And he says, "The Empress has given me leave to bargain for the sword. Unfortunately, circumstances demand that the dagger must remain in our care."
Kill him.
I do understand. I was wondering, however, this individual that was found in the woods near the body would seem to be of a known personage to one in our group, and very unfortunately, you can understand, found himself around a dead body that was not of his own doing. And I was wondering if possibly we might be able to arrange a different agreement just to ensure his safety. And I understand that it would need to be in a manner not so that the mass populace were to know that he was let go. But it would just feel awful, simply awful if he were to suffer consequences on our behalf.
First of all,
Inspiration!
second of all, can I insight check the steward to see if he was lying about the Empress giving the order?
Yes, you may. Kizator, take a D. Let's say take a D8 inspiration.
Okay.
That was delightful.
That was great.
That was so good.
That was great.
Thank you.
But oh my god.
That was fantastic. Like, oh my gosh, that hurt.
That was spot on.
Oh, that was a natural 20 for a 28.
Nice. He was not lying. From everything you can tell, his eyes are clear, his body language is steady. It seems the Empress has given him permission to barter the sword away, but requires the dagger for some purpose.
Or murder.
All right. So here's what I have for Barton is the original terms of the deal were the true name of CC, well, the one known as CC, to for the exchange of both of the weapons. I can sweeten the deal with the names of her siblings as well. We will require both weapons and the freedom of the Quickling if possible. Would that be possible for her ladyship.
I am not free to include the dagger in any of the negotiations. I am free to offer the body of the Quickling after his execution for this almost dastardly deed.
How... Alright, real quick Val question.
Yes.
Can Val bring Faye back to life?
Read me the specifics of the Raise Dead spell real quick. I'm gonna look up Revivify, see the actual language used. Because if it's talking about any creature, yes, no problem. If it's any humanoid,
we use Raise Dead for an animal.
I was just saying, no, it is a dead creature, and you return a dead creature you touch.
That is what I thought. So yeah, sure, no problem.
I give a slight glare to Val.
Make sure it looks like Rye.
The grandma
I look. Like Rye, so yeah.
I don't
the
like the
lips.
idea of letting one who was coming to aid us take the blame for our actions. Is there a way that we could what do we need? What information do we need to give you to be rewarded a stay of execution?
An alternate individual who could have committed this crime. He was treated by the hounds, caught red-handed at the scene. You could not ask for a better alibi for yourselves.
Yeah, we
Well,
can't.
I believe, if I understand correctly, the purpose of us needing the weapons was to lay the blame at the feet of a certain individual.
Obviously. The puppet master, he is an agent of such a rival. The faithful hounds did their job well. Removed him from the body, from the scene of the crime itself, and treed him a short distance away, preventing his escape.
Would it not be possible to view his memories and see that he is indeed innocent of such a crime, and that would satisfy the mobs and pin the blame squarely upon the puppet master as intended?
Well, why would he do that?
As a trade for the information.
And the information you would give the true name of this CC individual who resides in Her Majesty's court, and...
I think we'd be willing to give her identity for the release of this individual, and perhaps my friend could give you information on her family and intent here and in general, as well as the true names of the family members that might be of interest to Her Majesty as well.
The true names hold some interest for us, but they are not here. We have not met them, we have not their visages. It is paltry in comparison to one who is currently in residence.
I can give you the visage of at least the human form of her sister. One who I think you would be very intrigued to meet should Cece bring her with her.
And why do you say that?
I'll look over at Rizator and kind of do the little head nod of yes, no?
Because they are very powerful beings whose true form you are not privy to at this moment, and I think it would be of extreme interest to you to find out what their true form actually is.
We are aware of the lady's dual nature. Have you anything else worth trading?
Do we know anything about, like, Fey relationship with dragons in general? Is there anything there?
On a large scale, from anything that you know, you have no idea.
Okay. Dragon, large scale. I guess then I'll just to Val. Darling, I don't know that we have anything else of interest to them.
I don't know that that's entirely true, but it's whether we're willing to give it or not. I can give you the true name of Cece. I can give you the visage and true name of at least her human visage.
And that will get you the sword and the body you desire.
I don't like it. I don't like it. Shut up, Leslie. We could also give you some knowledge of their activities on our world.
And that matters to us. Why?
Because it may be a link as to why they're here on
their world. Our world is not necessarily exactly their native world, and they were attacking across planes, so I would assume that your world might not be safe either.
We have an understanding with the one you call Cece. We are aware of her intentions, as well as the purpose of her research here. Have you anything else of value? And you see the steward is getting impatient at this point, where he's like, are we going to make a deal or am I going to walk? Like,
how about this?
You can tell it's getting to the end of his patience.
As a favorite of her ladyship's daughter, might I be permitted to perform the execution?
Oh! Oh! Oh!
You're just digging yourself some holes with Rye, aren't you?
Actually, I would approve.
Might my friend here, might one of us be allowed to perform the execution?
I like this idea.
This is going to be a very high DC. You're trying to convince him to give you a position of honor and a very, upfront, very public position in this particular case. You can make a persuasion roll.
Dude, if ever there was a time.
Using my D8 that I got. That bounced out of the box. Freaking heck.
The anxiety is real.
I know. I don't even know where it went. Okay, we're going with the different dice apparently. That was not the dice, guys. That was not the dice. It's all the best.
We're gonna cross all the fingers, the toes.
I got a fantasy girlfriend. I got family, and it's
What is
all
this?
getting risked.
Persuasion?
Persuasion.
God, I'm dying, man.
27.
27. You see the steward look at you. I will speak to the Empress and present your proposal. She will have the final say, and I will return to you momentarily. And you see him bow and head out of the room.
I look at Val and say, feign death.
Yes, but let's actually make it work properly this time rather than...
My life is in your hands!
Yes, that was a rather numbskull move of our wordsmith, wasn't it?
Also, they might want to chop heads off.
They're giving us his body. I hope it wasn't in pieces.
Right?
I don't feel good.
You don't feel good. I'm in a disguise, lying, trying to get up front in the prime spotlight.
To do that!
I just want to go in and out real quick. Super easy.
The steward returns, and he looks at you very straight-faced. It says, "The Empress will permit this,
Oh, damn it. Oh.
and you will be permitted to dispose of the body as you will."
Not to put a rush on things, but how quickly can this happen?
Immediately. He is awaiting you in the courtyard.
All right.
And either one of us are permitted to do this?
You asked, and so you shall.
Please tell me you have that one ready.
I don't prepare spells at the beginning of the day. They're just always, that's what I got.
You have the spell slot though, yes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I barely cast.
That one would take, because that's one of my always cast or always prepared, and that uses up my last slot of that level.
Is anyone else's life flashing before their eyes, or like?
Wrong one.
We're not making announcements. We're not making, like, K-Store's gonna die. He has to scroll. This is the end. 11th hour ends here today.
As the steward exits, just to be safe, I'm recasting Disguise Self to reset the timer.
Okay. You follow behind the steward, and he leads the both of you, if you follow, to a courtyard.
As we're leaving, I whisper to Val to send a message to Rai if he can, to just say, no, I'm not gonna do it. We're gonna leave. Let's go.
All right.
Yeah, because I can't.
So you head to the courtyard, and as you approach, you can hear a roar of people. There is a large crowd that has gathered. You emerge from the gates, and you see the guards have cleared a portion of this courtyard. There is a platform, a raised platform, built of wood that has been hastily constructed, and tied to it, standing with his wrists bound behind him, his feet in shackles. Val, you recognize this individual as your friend.
Right.
One who owes you a debt. This quickling with blue silver skin, dark blue hair tied back in a low ponytail, leather jerkin, and dark green doublet, brown leather pants, and very, very nicely well-kept, if scuffed, used leather boots. You see him looking around, and he is just resigned to his fate. He looks and catches the movement out of the corner of his eye, and he looks at you, and he's like, just crestfallen at the thought that you would set him up for this, that this is the completion of the deal. And he looks away from you, looks out over the crowd, and just is silent and resigned. As you approach, you hear the Empress speaking, just giving the speech from a balcony up above. You see Anna is standing beside her. There are multiple guards around each of them, bodyguarding and protecting them from any harm that may come their way. You approach, and the Empress is wrapping up her speech, saying about how such enemies of her realm will be caught and punished, how this is entirely beyond the pale, how her foes will see their destruction. Yes, Garrett.
Is
Corin,
this?
excuse me.
Well, no, don't use that name. Is this a magnificent, loud, huge production of a speech, something that plebs like us off in the distance can hear?
Not off in the distance necessarily. Y'all at the inn have seen streams of people passing by the front of the inn, gathering around the castle. Like, it is a very public event, but there's still life happening. There are still those who are going from shop to shop. The city hasn't necessarily shut down for this. Life is still happening, but anybody who has free time has gone to see this very public execution.
Like you do.
Like you do. It's entertainment, right?
At most, I looked out the window. I ain't going anywhere.
Me and you are hanging out with the weirdly not dead body.
Yeah, so...
So Val...
Don't
So Kizator, the Empress finishes her speech. She gestures for you to approach. What are you doing?
I approach.
Okay. You approach this quickling. This relatively shorter than you for sure, even in your ride, guys. This fairly small-boned, small stature individual who sees you approach and sort of looks up at you and then just hangs his head. You can see he's like given up at this point. Like protestations have been useless. What are you doing? There's a moment of hushed silence that falls over the crowd.
I walk up.
Your boot steps echo on this stone floor.
I place my hand on his shoulder. I look back to the Eventide Empress and kind of give a nod.
She nods
And
back.
I look out to the crowd and just say, darling, may the enemies of her of the Empress learn from this. And I will snap my fingers and cast Feign Death.
Okay. You snap your fingers, you release the spell. Your voice, your statement echoes over the people. And as the spell takes effect, this quickling, this individual falls down, collapses at your feet. As soon as he hits the ground, there is a loud cheer, screams, and people take their hats and throw them into the air. It's a wide celebration. The guards are having to push people back from rushing into this. The 4 guards come. One of them checks for a pulse. One of them checks the eyes to check for pupil dilation to the light. There is no response. They nod up at the entrance. They gather him up. One of them carries him away, back past Val into the door they came from.
Val's gonna follow.
And the Empress lets the cheering go on for a short minute. And Kazator, do you follow also, or do you stay there just sort of absorbing the applause?
I walk off. I follow doing the princess wave.
Yes.
Okay. So still in your ride, guys, you follow. You can hear the Empress starting to speak to the crowd behind you. She quiets their cheering after a brief moment. But by that point, you are in the corridor again. The voice is muffled as the doors close behind you, but you can hear the Empress reassuring the people that justice is done and how everything is set to rights. And you follow, and you are led to a small room, very bare, essentially a larger closet, a storage area just off to the side. The steward follows you in and says, "Your work is complete. Is there anything else you wish done for today?"
I believe that would be all for us.
Then I require the true name of the individual we agreed upon.
I really want that freaking dagger. I'll pull out the journal that I found the names in and flip to the page, and forgive me if I butcher this, like we haven't said this name in a while. Is it Kalarin or Kalarin?
Kalarin.
Kalarin. Okay. The individual known as Cece, her true name is Kalarin. Her sister, the one that I mentioned,
I don't believe
that was for
the part of the agreement.
It was, remember, one for the sword, one for the body. Am I misremembering that?
Okay, all right. No,
You're not misremembering. You need the 2 of them.
Yep. And I will cast Disguise Self and change myself into the human form of Dracinia.
Okay.
And This is her sister, Dracinia. Did I get that right? Yep.
Dracinia.
These are the two of the three that we have met. And I'll change myself back.
You see the steward sort of repeat to himself, Claren, and then under his breath, make a perception check, actually, the both of you.
That's a 25.
Keep dropping dice. What is happening?
I like this one. This is becoming my new favorite.
Oh my gosh, they're all bouncing out. Stay in.
Jen?
Okay. What was it? Perception?
Perception.
27.
27. Awesome. So both of you definitely hear. All right. Claren. The Carmine Calamity.
Ah, great.
Dracinia. The sister. And you see him taking in her form, and he asks you to turn in profile, and then also to turn so he can get the back.
Turn to the right. The other right.
Jacinia?
All right, now pose.
And he nods, and you see him just like soaking it in. This is a prestigious moment for him. He is very excited to be able to take this information and convey it to the Empress.
And I'll close the book and kind of make a little bit of a show of it, of closing the book, wrapping the binding back around it, putting it back in my pouch.
Okay. Make a charisma check.
Why do you hate me?
Why do you do Greg?
You're the one who's putting this on almost as a
show.
Come at me, bro. Not come at me, bro, but a show of it.
It's a 16.
16.
It's
okay.
called a mic drop.
So he nods and he's just like eating up the performance of it, and he's like, yes, so with a flourish, he takes the sword and he hands it to you.
I will belt my sword.
All right, make a wisdom saving throw.
God no.
Oh, that's not good. That's a 15.
15. Oh, wonderful.
Oh,
Val.
Is Val about to cut a bitch?
It is a relief to have your sword restored to you. It fits into your belt at your side. It's so nice to have it back. Like it is just it's comfortable there. You know exactly how it fits, how to use it. It's nice. It is so nice to have it back. You feel like you can breathe a little bit easier. You feel a little bit of the weight of the world lifts from your shoulders, that rush of serotonin of just, yes, everything is exactly as it should be.
Nice.
I disagree. Everything is doo-doo now. Want to go home?
Well, with that, we will take our companion here and is there a more discreet way to make our exit to bypass the crowds, or do we just have to deal with it?
I will assist you in this endeavor. We will take you out a side gate, and a guard will lead you to your accommodations. A moment. He gestures for one of the guards to come in and for the guard to pick up the body, slings it up over his shoulder. The steward reaches out and just like touches the merest tip of his finger to the edge of the quickling's clothing, and the quickling disappears entirely from view. You see a guard standing upright with what looks to be a sort of odd but not uncomfortable pose as he's prepared to lead you out, carrying the quickling over his exceptionally broad shoulders that has disappeared from view. So you head on out. the guard carrying the quickling for you. You head through a side gate, avoiding most of the crowd. The streets are still very busy around here. Everything abuzz with the most recent execution, and the goodness of the Empress in keeping her domain safe as she prepares to execute her will. And she's such a benevolent ruler to protect them all. And it's so nice that she takes swift judgment upon the agents of her rivals and her foes who threaten the security and safety of her people. And you are led through this buzz back to the Inn of the Flaming Sword, where the rest of the group awaits you. You now have two unconscious or sort of dead bodies to figure out how to transport with you.
We also have 2 tieflings.
And we will pick back up at this point at the beginning of our next session.
Can we just get out of here in this section?
I don't want to we're one spell away. It's a scroll. I just want to leave.
You've got at least another 20 minutes or so for Feign Death to wear off.
They're still alive. We can teleport everybody. We can teleport all the bodies.
It's true.
And then deal with that not here.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody, for coming with us on our shenanigans for today. It's good to be back at this adventure.
This has been delightful.
Best thing ever.
Thank you, Casey.
God, that was the performance I needed.
Case of Tor.
Yes.
The DC for that was 27.
Oh my god.
I would have, without the D8, it would have been a 21. I got a 6 on the D8 that made it 27.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that was an exceptionally long shot.
Rye, you're such a murderer. Can't believe
Oh my god.
I just see Rye's face as Kissador walks in looking like her.
Rye hasn't left her room yet. So.
Right.
Yeah, I'm going
She
into
may
one of our
never
rooms
see
and dropping
this.
it. I'm going into one of our rooms and dropping it.
And then we leave and we never speak of it.
Unless there's people on the street being like, that was so amazing what you
We're
did
not
up
going
there.
to the street. We're teleporting from this hotel. We're getting out of here.
Love it.
Okay, so on that note, thank you everybody for coming with us on this journey. Stay safe, stay healthy. We are still in the middle of all of this, but thank you for coming with us. Take care of yourselves out there, guys. Bye-bye.